Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Oracle. It is time for another update, and on this chart we have a few scenarios that could work out within this structure, but realistically within all of them within the smaller time frame, and we are talking about the last 6 years when we say the smaller time frame, we have the same pattern that we are tracking, which is an ending diagonal within a wave C in this area. Now, the pattern we are tracking currently within this idea is a larger impulse that would form a larger wave 1 to the upside. I have to say, based on the strength, on the sheer size of this wave to the upside, if it is to form a 5-wave pattern, I might even prefer that this would still be part of a wave 3, that this could be a wave C in a larger ABC structure. Very much a possible interpretation, might even work better based on the structure within wave 1, and in that case we would still be looking for a wave 4 correction in the 5th wave even once this count is entirely full. Now, other scenarios are available. Even within those, I would still be tracking this exact pattern at least within the time frame of this wave C, where I'm looking to build this as an ending diagonal. So here within the smaller time frame, we have a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, a wave 3 up, a wave 4 down that could still be ongoing very easily, and then a 5th wave we would expect to complete our structure. Now, we have been tracking this idea, this scenario of an ending diagonal ever since we topped within this wave 3, ever since we had the high in place actually, and we have been looking for this wave 4 to create an ABC correction into the area of support between the $231 all the way down to the $118.6. We have been looking for a potential initial wave A bottom to form in the region of the 38.2% retracement, and I have to say, we could have very easily bottomed fully within this area, at least within the first wave A to the downside, if not a more substantial bottom within the wave 4, but we didn't manage to get quite a substantial reaction to the upside, and we extended to even lower prices. So we have to understand better where we really are positioned within this structure at the moment, because it is looking quite bad. We haven't had a great retracement since we have started this correction really, and we do need to understand that we are still looking at the 61.8% retracement at the $118 as a quite critical level, because if we break even this level in a sustained manner, it would signal to us that this structure would overall very likely be failing. Now, I'm not saying that some other interpretations couldn't allow for extensions to higher prices, but as long as we hold this internal area of support, it is the more probable interpretation, and if we are to break it, we would need more clarity from a smaller time frame perspective. We would need some evidence that something more bullish, more of a reversal may be coming, and that we would be able to see new all-time highs, because all that I could really track if we are to break this last level of support would be something along the lines of, let's say, a larger ABC pattern, and we could allow the 78.6% retracement to be reached. In that case, that's no pattern, that's no structure that would strongly suggest to us we should expect this overall wave C to the upside to even succeed in forming anymore. Now, before we move into the smaller time frame, I wanted to briefly mention our channel newsletter, where you get access to our monthly top picks, where we identify for you those high value areas of support, those high quality structures that you can look for a position within, where you have levels of invalidation clearly defined, so you don't get stuck in positions that will continuously lose you money, either by dropping even further or by keeping your assets locked on losers. The link for sign up is in the description. It is completely free, but if you enjoy our content and you want to support us, you can check out our channel membership. The link for that is in the description as well, or you can click the join button, and by joining you will get access to additional content, stocks that we cannot even publish on the channel because they just don't perform, because people aren't interested in some particular assets or stocks, quality structures, and good perspectives. Now, back to the chart. Here, within this wave 4, we have been tracking an initial 5-wave pattern because we were able to identify a potential impulse within a smaller time frame here, And we had a potential double 1-2-1-2 setup. When we bottomed here in this wave to the downside, we were looking for a potential wave 4 correction. So we had an area of resistance and we were tracking exactly that count. Now, since we bottomed in this wave to the downside, we have been looking for a wave 4 correction and we extended to even another low, and we consider that, okay, perhaps we extended within a wave 3 down here, and now we are tracking our larger 1-2 setup. Now, since we didn't actually get to our larger area of resistance in orange, we have to assume that this structure is actually unfolding slightly differently. So I would actually go ahead and assume that instead of having the wave 3 bottom here, it was actually here. We might have had here instead a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This count actually seems even better to me. And now, with the latest development, I believe this was actually the wave 4 top, and that a 5th wave could work out to extend to even lower prices within this area. And we may be completing our initial 5-wave move to the downside in this structure. Well, this would have a couple of implications. So firstly, we would be looking still for continuation to lower prices, because within this 5th wave, we would expect to form a 5-wave pattern, since this is an impulse. So we would have here a wave 1 down, a wave 2 up, 3rd wave down, 4th wave up, and then a 5th wave that would be expected to push lower still. Now, for this expectation, I would be watching an area of resistance up to the 61.8% retracement at the $164.4. Within the current retracement in our wave 4, we have pushed into the last level of resistance and we have started extending to lower prices. So within this interpretation, we would be looking for another low before starting our larger reaction to the upside. Now I can remove this larger area of resistance, not really necessary anymore, and I would extend this white area of resistance, because here we want to track the bottom of this structure for a potential larger pattern, a larger A, B, C structure where a bottom might have already formed within a slightly less likely interpretation of the structure within this area. I would strongly expect to actually extend to lower prices. Yeah, I do find this next wave to the downside very likely at this point actually, but the break above the $164.4 would strongly shift this expectation. Now, does this mean that this wave 4 will not actually work out and that we will ultimately break the area of support within the yellow interpretation? Well, if we indeed build here a 5-wave move to the downside, probably yes, if this is a 5-wave pattern. We would be looking for a larger A, B, C structure at the very least, and yeah, this area of resistance would need to shift down, and we would be looking for new lows. We would likely manage to get a nice reversal before breaking the area of support, likely from this last area where we have structural support between the $126 down to the $118, very much in line with the 61.8% retracement, but we would likely get the relief rally in a wave B before actually breaking the area of support, even within that interpretation. But this is not a guarantee. Now, the other thing is that within this structure, we might be looking for a different pattern as well, because even though I could track this as a 5-wave structure, I could also be looking at it as an A, B, C movement to the downside in a wave A. I could be looking for a wave B to the upside and a wave C to complete the wave 4 in yellow in a corrective pattern instead, and we would manage to extend in the next wave to the upside in the 5th wave. Now, this is unfortunate because within the same structure, we have very close probabilities in terms of which scenario would actually be winning. Now, surely, at these low levels of the area of support, it seems interesting to consider perhaps some accumulation, because within both of them, we would expect at least some sort of a reversal, some sort of a relief rally, if not the 5th wave to the upside. But to actually trust it to break out of the area of resistance is going to be more of a challenge, and we would probably need to identify an initial 5-wave move to the upside to have some more trust that this structure would have indeed formed a corrective ABC movement instead of a 5-wave movement to the downside within an impulse, which would strongly suggest that after a 3-wave correction, we would be looking at the very least for another 5-wave move to the downside in a larger ABC pattern, if not something even more bearish like an impulse in a 5-wave pattern to the downside. Now, we need to be patient, we need to be very careful with what structures we are following to the upside, and so far within this smaller time frame we don't have anything strongly suggesting that a bottom is in place. I could maybe argue that this is an initial 5-wave move to the upside, but to be honest, I believe we would have actually needed an additional 4 and a 5 to consider this more easily to be a 5-wave pattern, as currently I look at this and see a 1, 2, 3, 4, and where's the 5? It's not there, yeah? So we have an area of support we can track that would signal to us a more direct descent in the 5th wave to the downside in this orange structure, but nothing that is strongly suggesting that this is going to break the internal area of resistance we are tracking in orange. And for now, we are watching the 61.8% retracement in orange, yeah, the $164 level, for a signal that a more substantial bottom would be in place. If it breaks, we aren't necessarily looking for a 5th wave to still form within this area, but until that is the case, this is our focus, yeah? The 5th wave to the downside is rather expected to form before creating a more substantial reversal to the upside, and if we break the 78.6% retracement at the $141.2, it would be telling us that, yeah, this 5th wave is likely unfolding. And for now, there really isn't much else to add. Within the smaller time frame, we expect an ABC structure to unfold anyway within this wave 5 if it is to build. And so far within this area, multiple interpretations are possible. I could even consider this to be a series of 1-2 setups, or yeah, this could actually even work out as a wave 3 itself. But for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to check out the channel membership and leave a like, it really helps. But for now, bye bye.